By the end of this video, you should be able to write a thesis statement with two broad yet distinct reasons to support it. And we're going to also make it impressive by doing it in a way that it is a complex sentence. So if you don't remember what a complex sentence is, I do have another video on that. I can hand that to you, or you can go to YouTube or the internet and refresh your memory. But it would help to know what a clause is, especially an independent and a dependent clause would be, and then to also know the complex, which is basically just those two clauses put together. Now, what's the first thing you do? Well, you have to read the question or have a question that you're trying to answer. In this case, it's should young teens have cell phones? Now, as soon as I think about the question, I might have an initial answer. I might just think, yes, they should. But why do I feel that way? The best way to get ready to have enough words to elaborate your answer is to brainstorm. So what I like to do is to brainstorm pros and cons. So after about 3 or 4 minutes, I was able to have the pros and cons listed on this chart, as you can see. So you can pause if you need more time to read them. Ultimately, I was able to find more cons than pros, but my pros were stronger. And so I actually went with the answer that teens should have cell phones. And so you can see that your main answer, your claim that you're trying to prove, is actually not the first thing you write. It's actually the second half of your first sentence. It's your independent clause. So at different points in time in this video, this is going to be an ed puzzle, and it's going to be asking you questions, and you're actually going to write a complex thesis statement with me. So we'll do it together, and then by the time we're done, hopefully you have a high quality complex thesis statement as well. So after I have my answer, which in this case is yes, teens should have cell phones, I got to figure out a way to back it up with reasons, good quality reasons. And so I want to come up with at least 2 reasons that are broad yet distinct, meaning that I can write a lot about them and they're not going to overlap with each other. And so I went back, I looked at my brainstorming list, and I came up with these 2 reasons. First, that cell phones provided instant communication, and the other one being that they can be programmed to be safe. And so what I have here is a second sentence that states my broad yet distinct reasons, which will end up being the main idea sentences of my body paragraphs. So as you can see, cell phones provide instant communication and can be programmed to be safe. So the missing piece is my dependent clause. All I have to do to finish and to have the dependent clause box completed is I need to think of the opposite perspective of mine, or the conflicting perspective. And so I'm going to start almost every time with the word while. In fact, if you're watching this, you're going to start every complex thesis statement with the word while. And then you're going to state the opinion that is the opposite of the one you're trying to argue, so that it's just simply addressed. In my case, it says, while many think cell phones should be reserved for adults. All right, you can reword it however you want. And so at this point, we're done. I have not only a complex thesis statement, but I also have the outline of my entire essay ready to go. So when we read it, it says, while many think cell phones should be reserved for adults, comma, young teens should have cell phones. All right. And then it says cell phones provide instant communication and can be programmed to be safe. Now, there is one thing I could do to make this sound a little bit more clear. I think I could come back here, and you'll be able to see me do this in action. Young teens should still have cell phones. All right, so while many think cell phones should be reserved for adults, young teens should still have cell phones. I got to make sure that the wording flows. All right, I could maybe go back and say, while many think cell phones do too much harm to teens, teens should ultimately have cell phones because, actually, I like this. I'm going to say, yeah, teens should have cell phones because they provide instant communication and can be programmed to be safe. So just like that, I made some minor adjustments just so that it sounds better. And now it's one complete sentence right here. So it went from 2 sentences to 1, and that's okay. So there you go. That's how you write a complex thesis statement.